What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of Let's Talk Snowboarding, and today we have Niko Salinas with us, a local content creator, influencer, I would say, but more so just a local North Idaho snowboarding homie that we get the pleasure to chat with today. Niko, how are we doing, man?
Doing great.
Nice.
I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, awesome, dude. Let's just start, dude. So you grew up locally. Where'd you grow up here in North Idaho?
Oh yeah, so I was born and raised here, just right outside Coeur d'Alene, kind of in between Coeur d'Alene and Post Falls. Spent a little bit of time just at U of I, and then left for Hawaii, and found out that man, I was really missing this place. I took it for granted as a kid, and I'm really glad to be back now. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, definitely. So when you were growing up, what was like your first introduction into snowboarding?
Oh yeah, I had some crazy neighbors, I'll tell you that. But
Okay.
we had just a great place to raise a family here in Coeur d'Alene. So when I was young, it was just all the friends were all the neighborhood friends would get together, and we would be throwing snowballs all night, or we would be pulling each other on four-wheelers with the snowboard in the back. We would be like finding the golf course. I think the local Coeur d'Alene golf course, we would go at night and snowboard and stuff because it was lit up. So that was like the mini stomping grounds, I guess, when I was a kid. So we were always trying to jump over trash cans or something. I'm trying to keep up with my friends. They were always usually a little better than me, but it was fun to get out there and start doing that. And I really never got the chance to get on a mountain until I had that 5th and 6th grade ski pass.
Okay.
Have you heard that here? It's like the Idaho pass.
Yeah.
Or I think the local mountains around here. So that was really my introduction to like the mountains, was doing that 5th and 6th grade ski pass, because my family really didn't have the means to take me all the time and stuff. So after that, I maybe got to go a couple times a year with the friends, and it wasn't until high school and I had my own job that I could really start going and paying for a pass and all that.
Nice, dude. Nice. So you mentioned you grew up here, but you said that you spent some time in Hawaii. What were you doing in Hawaii? What was the driving force to go out there?
Yeah, actually, it was a little impulsive, but actually, so I had my son at a young age, and a lot of you guys that know me too. He's 14 now, and so I had him at 19. So long story short, I was really able to get along with the mom and make sure that we were supporting each other. Was able to finish college, but she ended up getting married to a Marine that was out there in Hawaii, stationed out there my senior year, and so I just followed him out there. Took my girlfriend at the time, now my wife Jacqueline, and she really made it all possible, to help, because that was going to be a bum on the beach. I just wanted to, follow him out there and be close to my son after college and maybe figure it out from there. But with Jacqueline going too, we were able to have dual incomes, able to get like a nice little condo on the beach, and just like a block back from Kalikau Avenue, and pretty expensive, not gonna lie. And it was a cool experience. It was a little less than a year, and now everybody's back here in Post Falls and settled down now. So, and even then, like when I was in Hawaii, I was like, man, I really miss the snow. I don't know how much longer I can do this.
Yeah. And I can't remember if you said, what'd you do for work in Hawaii?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was fresh off my marketing degree and was applying for jobs and realized that it's a lot easier to get into the service industry and make some money that way. So
Sure.
I literally, and I've had serving jobs for probably almost 6-7 years prior to that. And the experience there was a lot different than back here, where, they're a lot more so on their high horse, where, the steaks right, the right wines and stuff. And the service industry is really big over there. So I even had to start out as a busser for a couple months before they let me even be a server, and then to a bartender and stuff. But it was definitely worth it getting out there, and we would not work till maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, but we'd spend the morning surfing and stuff and hanging out.
Nice.
And working the nights.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
What island was that on?
It was on Oahu.
It was on Oahu.
Yep.
Okay. In Honolulu?
Yeah, we were right on in Waikiki, and then my son was over at his mom's, so they were stationed in Kaneohe.
Okay.
More so on the north side, and I would take a bus there.
Yeah.
To go pick him up and bring him back. And,
Definitely.
We'd sneak into the resorts and go hang out in the pools and stuff. And
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cool. Relation to that, my dad actually, he grew up in Redondo Beach, Southern California,
Oh, yeah.
but he spent a lot of time on Maui. and all the islands really. But he's a big surfer.
Oh, yeah.
When he was, in his prime and stuff like that. But he spent a lot of time in Lahaina at the docks, working the docks and stuff, and surfing Lahaina, doing all that stuff. So that's cool to hear. I've never been to Hawaii.
Oh man, I hope you go.
It's probably one of our top 2 vacations. Like we were talking earlier, you have kids who are a little bit older now. You were saying that your daughter's 4 now, right?
Yep. Yeah, big age gap, but I got 14
yeah.
and 4 years old.
My daughter just turned 3 in May.
Okay.
And then my son's 20 months old, so a little closer age gap, but not like your daughter's 4, my daughter's 3, like that toddler phase, man.
Oh, yeah. They're wild.
Yeah, talk about that, man. How's that been lately?
Yeah. Well, I've gone through it once before, and I'll tell you what, Jason was the calmer one out of the 2.
Okay.
Maddie's definitely the wild child out of the 2, and I think it's because she's watching her older brother, do the same sports and, do the snowboarding and golf, riding the bikes and stuff, and she wants to get out there ASAP too. And so it's been definitely a lot to corral her, but also let her, do her own thing and make sure she finds kind of, her personality is kind of cool to watch, all that develop right now. And
yeah. So you're talking about surfing in Hawaii. Do you still surf to this day?
Oh gosh, no. I'm probably that was 30 pounds ago.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, but even then, I was just good enough to maybe stand up on on a longboard and surf Waikiki Beach and stuff. And
cool.
we'd get out to the North Shore a little bit, and it was mostly more for jumping off rocks. And then once the waves started going in like Waimea Bay, where it's really calm in the summer, and then it picks up in the wintertime when those were the world-class surfers like come in.
Sure.
Fun to watch, but yeah, I couldn't get out there on those big waves.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Seeing some of the YouTubers out there, even like Casey Willax and some of the surf that he gets on, it's just like, oh my gosh, dude, just. And then the pro level is just a whole nother level, especially with like pipeline and
Yep. That was horrible, but I just needed a board sport to keep it going.
Something to do, yeah. I mean, I started out skating when I was growing up in Southern Oregon, and then during high school and college, I dived into surfing a little bit because my sister was really into it at the time.
Oh yeah.
And so she would take me out to like Crescent City, Northern California, surf.
Yeah. We did Northern California with Young Life when I was in high school.
Oh, okay.
We got to do this awesome trip where we went down to California. We did like surfing, mountain boarding, kayaking and stuff, and went to like Los Gatos area, like that Northern California area.
Yeah, just so cool down there. But yeah, man. So after Hawaii, what year was it that you made the move back to North Idaho?
So end of 2014 into 2015.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. And when you got back, were you still in the surfing industry, or what did you transition? To
man, a little bit of both. So I have a marketing degree, and I did realize it was kind of hard to find some jobs out of Coeur d'Alene and stuff. I would have to go to Spokane and start out, financial services a little bit, and then realize that maybe all my friends are at the age where they're not really thinking about that kind of stuff. And then I went over to some pitting bows, selling stamp machines, like really dry stuff, like sitting at a call center calling people. And then luckily I got into a job with Hershey. I was kind of just scrolling emails by accident, and then the Hershey company reached out to me, and that was a good opportunity for me to manage a territory here in Idaho.
Okay.
And that kind of opened my mind actually to bring back the snowboarding. Is I started seeing a lot more of, north of Sandpoint. I was in Bonners Ferry once a week, and down in Lewiston, Clarkson once a week too, but I love the drives, I'd be visiting stores and really kind of just negotiating space for Hershey in the mass retailers. But then I was, the best part about it was the drives, going up and seeing the Selkirks on the way and realizing like, oh man, I could probably get back there one day. And, and this is definitely where I want to stick around and don't want to move anytime soon. And Hershey's one of those companies where it's like, if you want to get promoted, you got to move. And so I kind of stayed patient and was looking, and I found another company that was kind of doing like a work from home thing. And so now I work with Conagra, which is just a corporation that owns a bunch of brands. And now I work from home selling to URM stores like the Yoke Super Ones, Harvest Foods around town.
Very cool.
And so that has really allowed me to, not only just like work from home and spend more time with my family, but get out there in the mountains more and, kind of set my own schedule.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And, you come back, and then the Vandal Snowboard Club, was that during your time when you were a student at University of Idaho?
Oh, yeah. Vandal Snow is something special, man. I'm not actually sure if it's still going anymore because there might have been some troublemakers after I left, but it was man, yeah. So to back up on Vandal Snow a little bit, it was a ski and snowboard club and team, and so that club was really an 8-day vacation. We would try to get people to come out to. We would do Brundage first. The first couple of years we were at Brundage, and we would rent 3 cabins, and then be out at Brundage for 8 days, and it was awesome. We'd have more than 60 people in there, and there was one year we didn't get invited back because we kind of did have just too many people for those Airbnbs and stuff, and so we started going up to Schweitzer my sophomore through senior year, and so we would do a big cabin on the lake there, and then 8 days up at Schweitzer. And then that club really supported the team, so we would always try and land a big movie premiere, and so we would call around and try and get a movie premiere to come to Coeur d'Alene or come to U of I, and then once we had the movie premiere set up, we would call like any brands that we could possibly think of and ask them for free swag. Hey, we got a movie premiere. We'd love for you to, throw in some swag for a raffle maybe, and get this thing hyped up. And so that, worked out really well once we had the movie premiere. And then we would, land some boards and skis and a bunch of hats and other things, goggles. And then we would try and sell tickets to the movie premieres and stuff. And so one of the biggest ones we got to do, and I just feel like it was like the peak of cinematography snowboarding, was The Art of Flight. And so, yeah, Red Bull we got Red Bull to come to U of I. And do The Art of Flight, and it was great because it was big hype around that movie, and then we ended up selling out the I forgot what it's called, that stage area there too, the auditorium that they have. And then from there, once we kind of had our budget and stuff, the U of I used to match, and then we would support that to go compete through USCSA, so it was kind of like a branch of USASA, but for collegiate athletes and stuff. And so they'd send us out, and we got to do a little free snowboarding, for on U of I's dime, which was kind of cool, and in part with our fundraisers. But that was really the cool part, to travel around. We'd go to Mount Hood or Bachelor, some local ones. We went to Bluewood a little bit and stuff, and then we usually had like a regional competition, and then we'd send a few to the national competitions, which were usually at like Copper or somewhere in Vermont, actually, I think. Killington.
Dude, that's cool. That's cool to hear. Bluewood, shout out to our former producer, but still doing big things, Jessica Woofenden. So she talked about in her episode being at Bluewood during her like prime time of like
Bluewood.
getting into snowboarding, and I was like, oh man, Bluewood, such a cool little hill.
Cool little ski hill.
Yeah.
And I can't say Vandal Snow without mentioning some of those like OG people that really brought me in when I was a freshman. They were all seniors at the time. Let's see, I got Mark Curry, Colby Blair, Devin Webb, Seth Nolan, Kyle Howerton actually is still there, and I think he's teaching film. He was an inspiration for me because there was a couple of guys always filming and stuff, and then once they left, it was kind of up to the rest of us to figure out the club and team moving forward. And and once Seth and Kyle left, it was really like, who's going to film now? And that was, kind of where I started picking up a camera and a GoPro, and just started filming my friends.
Yeah, and that's how we all kind of started out, just messing around with our friends, right?
Yep.
Getting the old version GoPro out there.
Oh yeah.
Whatever you can afford.
Yep. I still got the OG, the first one.
Nice.
Sitting on my desk. Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. Dude. I remember the old school sessions and stuff.
Oh yeah.
The little tiny squares.
Yeah, those. And there was like another camera that would like side attach that looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there's some good ones.
Are you talking about Vandal Snow, and so when you left for Hawaii and then you came back, those relationships that you had at Vandal Snow, did you reconnect with a lot of those homies when you got back into the area?
I did actually, and so and the cool part is I brought some high school friends on the team and stuff, and so like once I came back to Coeur d'Alene, it was great to see all those guys still here and going to the mountains and stuff, and a lot of them were actually snowmobiling too, and so I ended up getting into that a little bit too and following my friends around. And but yeah, it's been great. So now we have all the homies still from high school through college, and now we're all the same group of friends that are up at Schweitzer. And now we got our own kids that were following around.
Yeah, that's so cool to hear. And let's talk about Schweitzer a little bit.
Yeah.
Schweitzer, I mean, it really is a special place. I mean, when I really started getting into the culture of snowboarding and working at the mountain, it was down at Mount Hood. And it was at Timberline Lodge on ski patrol and as an instructor for almost 10 years. I was down there when I was living in the Portland area. But, through those connections, my boss at Timberline had the director at the time of the ski school up here at Schweitzer, Terry McLeod. Really great ski coach, ski race coach, just an all-around awesome guy. And so met him at Moontime when I moved, like right after I moved up here, because I was like, okay, I got to work at the mountain. So, and my boss, Steve, at Timberline, Steve Muse, he was like, oh, well, you got to talk to Terry then. So met Terry at Moontime, rest is history. So I've been working at Schweitzer for the last 7 years, teaching snowboarding. You've been there as well for right around almost the, same amount of time. I think I got here a little bit later in the game. I think we moved up here in 2018.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, man, just let's kind of talk about like how it's changed so much in that short amount of time, and the some of the pros and cons, and like how you used to remember it versus how it is now.
Yeah. Well, I will say, like, it's still great that compared to like going over to the West Coast and stuff, or maybe some other mountains, like to deal with what they got to deal with, the parking, the drive up, the lines and stuff, like it's pretty minuscule compared to, all those mountains. So I'm still like really appreciative of that and stuff, and I want to hang on to that as long as possible. But at the same time, it's grown quick. And I remember, man, with like the snow ghosts and stuff, and everything being there, growing up with my friends, like, gosh, it was just not, I don't know, how to say it, but just less busy for sure, maybe just less chaotic, and it was, I'll say it was cheaper. It was a lot cheaper for us.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, man. Yeah, it's.
I think that's what I'm getting at. Is just and maybe it was because of the college scene. We get the college passes and stuff, and now that we're full-grown adults, and you got to pay for yourself and your kids and your wife too, and it starts to add up.
Yeah, man. It's cool to see like the whole area is kind of everyone's stepping their game up, whether it be Lookout or Schweitzer, 49 Degrees, Mount Spokane, like Silver, like everyone's kind of has their own, vibe at their mountain. Ren from the Ski Shot, he spoke on this in his episode. He was like, you can go up to Silver, and if you're early at the gondola at like 7:30 in the morning, you basically could have a private resort on a powder day for 2 to 3 hours before the gondola line starts to build up, and then everyone starts to come up. Like you could be by yourself the entire time. Whereas if you go to Schweitzer on the same day in the same conditions, you're going to be in line with probably 200 other local powder hounds.
Oh yeah, definitely a difference from there to Schweitzer.
And I've been to both resorts. You've been to all these resorts. It's just like it's kind of hard to beat the terrain and the lift aspect. Those high speed lifts up at Schweitzer are just like you can pump it out all the time, whereas like you're at Silver, one of the other places, some of them have upgraded their lifts, but it's it's a slow burn. You know what I'm saying? It's just more of like the chill, like old school vibes at those ones.
I will say, my favorite part of Schweitzer is once you get off the lift and you're on the back bowl or wherever you are, it really feels like it's just you on a mountain. Just me and my son. And usually those first really good, any of the good clips that I really get are the first 2 runs of the day.
Sure.
And then that's pretty much it, and you might mess around after that, but we're always there. Me and Jason are always up there first, trying to get, a couple for maybe first 10 shares or something on those POW days to get some clips and just have a good time. Those first couple runs are where it's at. I've seen
me being up there too, like on the same days that you're here, like I hear people like shout you. I was like, Niko. I'm like, oh, where's he at, dude? Like, that's funny, Niko in Idaho. It's been cool to see like you get more and more attention on the social media, which is awesome because I always like the people who kind of take from it other social media influencers, YouTubers, whatever it may be. They kind of, create their own, like Half Cap King.
Yeah.
Like
I saw you had him on there. That was a cool episode too.
Yeah, back last season when when I was trying to like get this all like figured
Oh
out
yeah,
and
he
stuff.
just came by, wasn't he? He was in town and.
Yeah, he was there for the Gilson Snowboard
The
crew event.
I
Yeah,
remember.
and then a couple other homies, Josh Wortman and Tanner Spade. They kind of work for Gilson,
Okay.
and so I've had them on too, and they've actually become a part of Mountain Vibe since then after
Nice.
our interview. But yeah, I was like, I saw that he was on his way and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been following half capping forever and stuff, and he
Yeah.
he kind of paved the way for his best friend Snowboard Jesus and
Oh,
all
yeah.
this stuff, and so I was like, I DM'd him, and I was like, hey dude, if you want to join the podcast, he's like, I have some time this
Yeah.
day, and he's like, and if you want to go ride, that's cool too. And so I rode with him in the morning.
That's awesome.
And then like lunch break, and then podcast in the afternoon. So it was a
Man.
pretty cool day to be able to hang out with him.
I know. I saw that. I wish I would have been up there for those.
I know,
meet everybody.
but he's all about coming back, man. He's
Heck
like,
yeah.
he's like, if it can happen, I'm gonna be there, dude. And we'll go ride. And he was
Heck
like,
yeah.
we'll get a bigger crew together this time.
Yeah.
So I have to go shred.
That's awesome. I love the community that that's Schweitzer, and especially after going there for the last 7 years, getting season passes is just accumulating all the friends along the way, and it feels like now we got a super crew with all the dads and all the kids and stuff just riding. So
Right, like big things happening right now for some of us old heads
Yeah,
up
right.
here with kids and stuff. I
Yeah.
took my daughter for the first time last season.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just putted around out by the clock tower for a little bit.
Yeah.
Pushed her around a little bit, and then she's like, "I want to go down the bunny hill." So we made it down twice the bunny hill, and then
Oh, yeah.
and then
It's
she
a workout.
and then I knew, I was like, "Okay, you're done, aren't you?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm done." I was
Yeah.
like, "All right, let's go get pizza at Powderhound."
Did you start her on skis?
No.
Oh, on a snowboard?
I asked her. We went to the rental. Like I was just gonna go up there and play with her,
Yeah.
and maybe hold her as I went down the bunny hill. She loved that.
Yeah.
And then, gosh, I've been watching snowboard videos with her since she was born, dude. Like,
Been kinda
'cause
doing that with Maddie
I'm the
and-
stay-at-home dad. My wife's a
Yeah.
nurse at the hospital
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
So she's got the awesome job, and she wanted someone to stay home
Yeah.
with the kids, and we both kind of wanted that. So it's nice. It was awesome to like be able to hang out with her. But when she was little, up until now, she's always like, she loves snowboarding and like fly fishing videos on
That's
YouTube
awesome.
all the time.
Yeah, you trained her well. Good
And of
job.
course Bluey and
Yeah.
and
Sneak a little fly fishing and snowboarding in there.
yeah,
It's all
Disney
good.
movies and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
but she's always down, dude. Like she loves it, and so it's cool to like kind of see like the kids coming up now. Like your son's a teenager, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends and coworkers in the ski school where they have a teenager. Like my friend Matt Smart, his son is leaving for college
Oh yeah.
in the fall, and then he also has like a 7-8-year-old daughter, so he still has the entire
Yep. Get to do it all over again.
yeah, all
Yep.
over again. So my wife and I, when we had our kids, they're so close together, we were just like, we just want to be done. Just
Yep,
like
done.
we want to, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
good. I know snowboarding. I mean, to have a toddler on a snowboard, it feels like more of a workout than snowboarding itself. Because man, I'll take Maddie, and she wanted to start on a snowboard too because of her brother.
Yeah.
And I was gonna wait maybe till she was like 5 or 6, But I mean, 2 years old, she's like, I want to do that too, and I ended up getting a little kit for her. And yeah, the magic carpet has been great, and just
Yeah.
pulling around the village, just her having fun has been good.
It's so funny. She's like, just loves to get dressed up and put all the stuff on in the goggles, and she loves it.
Yeah.
And when we went to go rent it, I was like, okay, you want to try the skis? You want to try the 2, or do you want to try the snowboard, the 1? And she was like, snowboard.
Yeah.
So I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, dude, that's awesome. Dude, that's awesome here. Let's talk about your kids a little bit more.
Yeah.
Your son, he's obviously in a lot of your posts and stuff. You guys ride together. What's it been like to see his progression in snowboarding? He's getting older.
Yeah.
And he's a teenager now, so he's starting to throw down.
Right.
Like, what's that like?
It's been a little unreal. It's been everything that maybe I want to do as a kid. So it's like not trying to live vicariously through him, but he's been turning it on, and it's been just a cool relationship to have with him. To have, we basically have 3 hobbies that we love together. We have fishing, we have snowboarding, and we have golf. And we do all those pretty passionately. And he started about that fifth grade, maybe 4th grade time frame. He was about 7 or 8, so maybe a little bit younger. But yeah, man, for him to snowboard, with all my friends and stuff, he picked it up real quick, and now he's the one that's been leading the charge for the last 2 years with all my homies and stuff, and trying to get them
cool.
to do this, do some things and to wake up, or calling us old heads, but
Yeah. How old is he now?
he's 14.
He's 14. Okay.
Yep.
So has he done any of like the programs up there? Or is it basically just going with fanatics and stuff? Or
No, so he hadn't done any of the little the smaller stuff, but last year he did that Snowboard Northwest.
Okay.
Yep, with Marty and Adam and everybody. So that was pretty awesome, man.
That's awesome.
It was cool to get roped into that, and it was at a good time because he's probably sick of riding with me. I've been riding. He's like just wants some friends to ride with. He's at that age, and
Sure.
it's been me and him for the his whole snowboarding career. He's been looking for some snowboard friends his age for a while, and so to find that group has been pretty awesome. And
yeah. So that's what I've really enjoyed seeing lately. Like we had Malie and Zadok Stefan on recently. So Zadok,
small town kids,
Zadok, big time, like doing big things. Zadok with the snowboarding and helping out, and then Malia is being like an entrepreneur, just like being a total badass.
Yeah, she's a go-getter too, man.
Yeah, and she throws down on skis. Like she hits the big jumps in the solid grounds with some freaking air. Like I'm like, I would never do.
Yeah.
But she's also 18.
I know.
I'm 36, pushing 37.
I'll straight air it, but only with a little pressure from my son. That's where
I think the South Park. The South Park's more my jam all the time.
Yeah, that's a good hangout spot for the dads.
Yeah, do some natural features. I stay away from the steel if I can.
Oh yeah, yep, I do nowadays. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure, dude. But yeah, so he's shout out to Snowboard Northwest, Marty Andrews, Pat Holland. Second season of that going on. Looks like it's going to be kind of a bigger season.
Yeah.
With Adam Hall doing things too. And yeah, that's going to be a good crew for your son to push each other. And
yeah, he's found some inspiration there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, and have you ever taken him down to Hood?
No, actually, yeah.
Okay.
I've done a lot of trips myself, and so I've been waiting on either like a summer camp or maybe like a couple trips, but I think we're doing Icon passes this year, so we're definitely making plans to travel.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you could hit Bachelor for sure with the Icon. That would be nice. Bachelor's fun. So yeah, talking about that, dude, like how stoked are you to like maybe see him go down to Hood for a camp over the summer and like live vicariously through him? Like you're like, maybe I'll tag along and do some camping.
I know, right? Yeah, riding. Can I come too, man? Yeah, I'll be in the background, maybe filming or getting some shots. That would be cool for me. But man, I loved hanging out there when I was growing up, and we didn't get to do the Wendell's camp, but we kind of had like all our friends that were connections in that in that camp and stuff. So we would go visit them, and then going into college, we had our trips where we'd go like just camp out in the woods or find an Airbnb that was close to government camp, and then getting out there, man, it was just meeting people and the vibes and just the summertime and getting above the clouds where you might think it's rainy, and then once you pop over the clouds, it's just this gorgeous mountain.
Right, dude. It's a special place.
Yeah.
It's literally my favorite place on earth I've ever been to. It's up between Hood and Glacier National Park.
Oh yeah, Glacier's pretty cool. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, dude. So talking about that a little bit more, you mentioned so you guys love snowboarding. Do you guys skate much at all?
I used to skate, and he does a little bit. We used to longboard a lot too. Like we would go hit hills like that Fernand saddle down.
Yeah.
And all those. And then I realized that this is maybe not a good idea with kids, and don't have good enough life insurance yet. And so I kind of started getting away from that and more into the snow stuff. But I used to skate when I was younger, and mostly it was those neighbor kids I was trying to keep up with that were always skating, snowboarding, doing crazy stuff.
Yeah. So you mentioned the Fernand saddle. That's like my go-to drive for when my kids won't take their naps.
Oh yeah.
I just drive up the saddle and come back. Dude, it's been kind of crazy lately. In the last year, I've had 3 crazy sightings out there, and so I've seen in less than a month and a half, I saw a big mama cougar out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, one time she was chilling in the middle of the road, pounced up onto the embankment when she saw me, like 10 feet up. I was like, damn. And the other time she was just sprinting across. And then the third instance was a moose, dude. Like came around this corner and this moose was in the middle of the road, and I was like, okay. And it started like running away, so I was like, okay, I'll chill here for a minute, let it like do its thing.
Yeah.
So I start creeping around that corner, and I think this was like milepost 4, and I creek around this corner, and then all of a sudden, when I come around the corner on this straightaway, this moose is sprinting back at my car, like dead aim. And it was because another guy in a big like rock crawler truck was coming down. And so all of a sudden I was like caught in this thing. He was like coming at me. So I basically had to like lay the horn on and like charge him with my car to kind of scare him. Went down the embankment and like kind of darted off. But I was like, what's going on with the saddle, dude? Like the wildlife up there is just crazy right now. It's just
coming inland for some food, man.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. You mentioned so fishing. Are you out on the lakes or are you out on the rivers much? Like, what kind of fishing are you doing?
Definitely trying to get into more fly fishing now. You know, a little older, but me and Jace grew up fishing a lot. We're just out on the lakes here, and then we started going up to like the Selkirks and fishing at those alpine lakes.
Nice.
Yeah, or up kind of like by the Stevens, St. Regis area, and that's kind of like his favorite fishing is like getting those like cutthroats or brookies out there.
Yeah.
And like frying them up for dinner and stuff. And
yeah.
So that's been really good. And recently been trying to get into, well, kind of by accident, but it's been pretty awesome, is getting into guide fishing where I might go down and get some sockeye. We did a weekend where we got limited out on some sockeye and Brewster. And then we're going to do king salmon, I think, in September down in like the Snake River area.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Growing up in Southern Oregon, we always had the Chinook salmon run.
Oh, yeah.
So we used to catch some monsters and get to take them home every fall down there.
I've seen some big cool Chinook salmon, man. Didn't know they could get that big until I saw them down there.
It's crazy, dude. But yeah, fly fishing is a lot of fun. And then you also mentioned golf. You're really into golf. That's funny because I see your posts a lot, and you're out at the Ponderosa Springs. I literally, my house is 2 blocks west of Ponderosa Springs in that little neighborhood down there. Haven't played golf out there yet, but
that's a good place to learn, man.
My wife and I were like, okay, next day you have off and the kids are at daycare. Okay, we're hitting the Ponderosa, dude.
Yep. I know that's a quick little one to do, and then especially because golf is expensive, and paying for my son and trying to get him, some reps is. We've been doing the league out there for the last couple of years.
Nice.
And so it's only $12 for a round. After you play the league, and it's been a good place to learn. Me and Jace learned about 5 or 6 years ago now. At the same time, we picked up golf, and gosh, he's taken it to another level. I still suck. I can't break 90 to save my life, but he's got a beautiful swing, and he's really starting to dial in his practicing and stuff. And he's making me jealous all the time. He's always talking shit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I have such fond memories of high school golf team. Every spring I was on doing the high school golf team. And,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I grew up playing golf, and when I was growing up, it was Tiger. And, so that
it's
really
still
got
Tiger
me.
For him too.
Yeah, my mom loved Tiger, so naturally, like, we would watch every tournament that Tiger was in, the phenomenon of Tiger. So, and now it's just, man, it's cool, the evolution of golf right now. I mean, you got the Live Tour versus the PGA, and then Bryson DeChambeau is just like, I'm doing YouTube now, and all his cool YouTube videos. He's like, majors in YouTube, that's all I care about.
Tiger Woods, I think, has got a golf league, like an indoor one coming up too, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Big things happening in golf. At least there's growing opportunity, and I always told Jace it's a good way to, get into college, maybe with a scholarship or something too, and just a sport you can stick with. And now that I'm getting older, that's a sport that's definitely I've grown accustomed to, just because less moving around and stuff. And
but still, just it's a great, like golf and like I feel like snowboarding go a lot hand in hand, because it's it's a lot of core stabilization and twisting in both sports all the time. Shout out to Pat _Dabs, caddy at Coeur. Have you ever seen him? So he's like he's a pretty badass snowboarder, park crew at Mount Spokane right now, but has done park crew at like Stevens Pass, Mount Hood Meadows, like kind of been at a lot of different places, and is a really talented rider. But he's also a caddy at the Coeur d'Alene Golf Resort. And he's like a tenured caddy now. Like he's really isn't that old, but he's been doing it for so long that he does the showcase every single summer, and
Yeah.
like caddies for some pretty incredible people and stuff. So
That's cool. Yeah, we went to the showcase last year, and Jason got to meet like Sidney Rice and all these Hall of
he
Famers
was-
and stuff. And
we were there too. I think Saturday we went,
Yep.
and it was like pretty cool to see. I was like, I had my eye out for a lot of different
Yeah.
athletes and stuff.
yeah, right. Just chase them around for a photo or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I feel like Coeur d'Alene has turned into like the Tahoe of Idaho now.
Yeah.
As far as
Secrets
like,
out.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, dude. So let's talk about let's rewind it a little bit, and let's go back to like some of your like inspirations and aspirations in the sport of snowboarding. Like what inspired you when you were growing up? Like who inspired you? What riders, and like any videos or anything like that
Oh, yeah.
you watched?
It was really in college that we started to like watching other riders and realizing like, oh, we get our hands on all these videos and stuff. And I had like my share of videos too coming into U of I, like some local riders. But then it really was, I don't know if you know Louis Fountain. He's been retired for a while, but he's a local rider out of Moscow. And he'd be an interesting guy to interview too. He did
Nice.
a bike car project bike car documentary where they built a 4-person bike, and they like traveled to all the mountains around here like Silver and stuff just in their bike car for, you know, like it was a cool project just for like, you know, no emissions kind of thing. And then Martin Campbell's another one from McCall, and he's a really cool backcountry rider that we're always looking to meet or something, you know. And all the seniors were like kind of talking about these two guys that were out of Moscow, or, you know, kind of like that McCall area, that were professional riders and just nearing retirement. So we had a couple movie premieres where, you know, they were in them, you know, and try to get them to show up or something. But those were two local riders at least that I looked up to. And then they were connections so they did People Films and and I think Mac Dog too, but they knew like Mark Landvik and stuff, and that's kind of where we got some like some insiders on the Red Bull premiere for the Art of Flight and stuff. And so for me, I like watching Mark Landvik. I like his style and, you know, his personality too. So he made like That's It, That's All, and the Art of Flight, like kind of those funny bits, you know, on the side. You know, he's just that guy that keeps everything really light in the group and stuff. And so when everything, you know, we might be snowmobiling or, you know, back in the backcountry and things are going wrong, I'm that guy that still tries to keep it light, kind of like him, and you know, make sure
try and keep things calm.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Yeah, definitely. Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And like you were saying, the movie premieres, man. Like, have you caught the Potato Boys? Have you been down to the movie premiere much?
No, where?
So Potato Boys. So like.
Oh yeah,
Blake
I know what you're talking
Bowerman,
about.
Essex
Yeah.
Prescott down here at the Collective.
Yeah, I missed the premiere, but I was able to watch it on YouTube. Man, those are amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you know, love the Potato Boys. But I mentioned Blake when we were at Schweitzer one day last season. I was like, "Where's the snowboarder, dude? Like, is there a snowboarder?" And he's like, "I know. We're gonna get some more content on the snowboarding next season."
There's a couple. I know there's a couple glides out there and stuff. And
yeah. But shout out to like the Wild Cannons crew too, dude. Like those guys are always putting down some cool stuff. Like,
I love their videos and stuff too. That's another place where, you know, I'd draw some inspiration from, is those guys over there. And Ryan Foggs and.
Yep, Ryan's the boy, man. Ryan actually just went to Ireland with his lady for the last week. Ireland and England, and him and I kind of moved to the Coeur d'Alene area right at the same time, and so I kind of found him by chance on social media, and then we've been friends ever since then. So
I'm on social media, and then we just rode the chairlift one day and started chatting and stuff.
Yep. And that's just how it is. Like, that's awesome to see, dude. So dude. So we've been talking about your kids a little bit. So Maddie's 4 now. So you got a whole nother round.
Oh yeah,
coming
I'm
up
excited for this one. Yeah, because got her started a little bit earlier and stuff, and you know, really not trying to push her into it at all. We'll just go up there and, you know, spend a couple hours, you know, and then go back in for some hot chocolate. The last couple of times, though, man, she's been staying out for pretty much open to close. And and well, you know, she always wants to go on the chairlifts. She likes to ride up, but the ride down, you know, like we might get maybe quarter mile down, and then she's like, "Oh, will you pick me up? I'm tired," and stuff. So like we might do like a couple chairlift rides and stuff at a time, but man, it's been cool to watch her really, you know, come into her own, and now she's, you know, learning her stops and learning to control the board, so she doesn't need a leash anymore and stuff. So I think this will be the year we can actually start moving around and on the mountain a little bit.
That'll be fun, dude.
Yeah.
That's so cool to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So let's talk more about you know, content creation. When was it that you like really started to dive in and like the Niko in Idaho?
Oh yeah.
You know, vibe started to like get out there, and you actually have created quite the following in the last few years. So.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it really just started for fun, just because I needed a creative outlet. I was always, you know, like growing up, I had a, you know, a little bit more of artistic side where I was drawing and sketching and stuff, and I had a little bit of photography stuff through college, and really needed a creative outlet to keep going. And you know, I have my day job and stuff, and I don't really get a lot of creativity from that. So I really just started filming, you know, when Jason was snowboarding and stuff, and filming him. And then I was like, man, he's doing pretty good and stuff, and he's been kind of the star of the show, really. But you know, realize it's fun to put out some reels and stuff, and also just to make memories for, you know, when I'm old and can't remember anything. It'd be cool to, you know, show my grandkids or show his kids, you know, kind of what the upbringing is like. So kind of do it for the memories, really, and it's kind of, you know, blossomed into something else that's, you know, not sure, you know, what direction it's going to go in, but I really found a passion for, you know, cinematography and, you know, the editing and stuff, and, you know, getting people to feel like they're, you know, at, you know, whatever we do, whether it's fishing, golfing, or snowboarding, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's been cool to just invoke those feelings in people and stuff, and just, yeah, make some cool edits.
Yeah, definitely. And are you what do you prefer? Do you rock the Insta 360 camera as well?
I haven't yet. No, okay. I've been all GoPro actually, and probably just because I bought the first GoPro and, you know, lost a handful on my way and really know how they work and stuff. But
sure.
Yeah, now it's been yeah. I definitely check them out and stuff too, but I had Schweitzer kind of hook me up with one too, so now I'm, you know, gonna rock that.
You'll love to hear that. Shout out to the marketing crew and stuff.
Yeah, thanks Sean. I mean, yeah, speaking of inspiration,
Sean and Tracy, yeah,
that's where a lot of the inspiration comes from. I'm like, man, they're making cool videos too. I want to make some cool videos, and you know, if I can tag them and they want to use them, that's great too. But
yeah, they've been doing some cool stuff in the last few years, definitely.
Yeah.
Tracy, I try to talk to Tracy quite a bit. Tracy Tuttle up there, kind of like Sean's, like, I don't know, right hand kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's been cool to kind of like pick her brain about certain things as far as like social media goes, and she's been very generous and everything.
Yeah.
With the podcast, helping me out with whatever she can. So.
Yeah. I know. I love Tracy. The funny story too, real quick, is coming out of Hawaii when I was moving back. Really didn't have any business experience other than, you know, my marketing degree. I had applied to be in the marketing department for Schweitzer, and I think it was like a marketing manager position, so I know I wasn't qualified at all, but I did get an interview with Sean, and he was really nice and stuff, and we were talking about it. And then, it wasn't maybe 6 or 7 years later, just a couple years ago, you know, they were talking about expanding a little bit and, you know, some openings, and, you know, definitely took some consideration into joining the team up there and stuff, and that would have been fun, but, you know, with the family and stuff, didn't really work out. But
yeah, it's always tough, you know, when you have kids. You're always like, oh, I'd love to, you know, help out with that, but I can only work certain days, and so I feel like that's kind of why I've kind of like focused a little bit more on this, some more content creation. I'm hoping. I really want to put out some video edits for the young guns out there.
Oh yeah.
And put some cool things together for them this coming season and stuff. I'm actually sitting on quite a bit of footage from last season, so hopefully I'm gonna throw some video parts out when the season starts getting rolling and stuff. So we share that in common for sure, man. Yeah. I get stoked on helping other people out. Like, you know, I can't send as nearly as good as these other kids, but I can keep up with them with a GoPro.
Right. Oh yeah. Follow them, that's my job now. That's why I sit behind the camera, is because I don't do the tricks anymore.
Yeah.
Especially like I used to, and it's been fun. And then like just to find the friends out there. Like I found a friend of mine, and we're best friends now, Ryan Smith, and he's got a daughter that's my son's age, and so they had passes up there, and he does a little bit of filming, you know, with his daughter and stuff too. And so we linked up, and it turns out he loves golf too. So we're hanging out in the summertime, and then come wintertime, we're both up at Schweitzer with our kids and stuff. And
Nice.
yeah, it's been great to just really find those connections and kind of build off of each other. Like they're doing stuff, and then we're doing stuff, and it's cool to see Jessica in the mix now too. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, she's killing it, man. And yeah, and like I said, it's just like you kind of find what you can do with the time that you have,
Exactly.
like, so I feel like it's like like I've always just loved to like work the seasons, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So being a guide fly fishing now, and then it's just like those shoulder seasons can be tough sometimes. The fall and
yeah.
the spring,
Fall
it's
and the
like,
spring.
what do I do? I don't know what to do.
Yep.
It's that time to just kind of like take a step back
Yeah.
and just chill out for a minute, because the grind is going to start again.
Oh yeah. Yep.
For sure, man. So, dude, let's talk about some of the business ventures, the Lakeside Media Group that you're running, and then I also want to ask you about Hacker Golf. Is that is that something that you started, or is that?
It's not. And so actually that brings me back to Ryan Smith real quick. We'll
Okay.
talk. Ryan was helping a guy out in San Diego, and so we're kind of not still continuing that just because he's been doing more stuff down in California than up here. But it was fun to help them, market stuff for golf, and we were selling the hats in the shops and stuff. And Ryan was the one that was really managing the Hacker Golf stuff up here, and that's where I was like, hey, let me get help you get some cool videos and stuff and promote this brand. And Hacker Golf, I mean, like if you think about the brand, it's just a bunch of hackers, right? I mean, it's a relatable brand. And so like out at Pondy, they love that, like all the hacker hats and stuff. And
Nice.
yeah, just a relatable brand, because it's not like the Titleist. It has the same Titleist like kind of like font, but it might be hacker instead. So
Yeah.
that was a fun thing to do, and it was a really good experience for Jason, to be honest, because he was young. He got to see like kind of like the marketing side of it, and like what we do with video and stuff, and then see what we do, like talking to shops and stuff, and getting the actual merchandise, to in stores to sell and stuff, or in the
Nice.
shops. But so that's kind of been on the back burner a little bit, because I know Ryan's been thinking about starting his own media company, and he's been helping out like locals, local restaurants and local businesses do some of their like social media content and stuff. And then at the same time, like I've been, helping a couple of my friends with their businesses, do their stuff. But who knows, maybe one day we'll probably get together and, might need the manpower for the both of us. So
Yeah.
I think that's where that's headed.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Speaking of golf, what's the club setup like right now? What are we rocking?
Ooh, man, Ryan is going to get all the shout outs here, because he's the one that hooked me up with some clubs.
Nice.
I've always, and just because I've really been focused on my son to try and get him going, I've been I've always pieced together clubs from like Goodwill or St. Vincent's,
Okay.
and never really cared about the clubs I used as long as I could hit them all right. And my son, for I think it was my birthday, he got me a brand new, a set of clubs that were matching, and they were some really nice Nike clubs that came from Ryan that he used in high school and doesn't use anymore. He's got his own set and stuff, and so yeah, he hooked me up with all his irons and stuff, and then I got a TaylorMade M2 driver, and the rest works out good. And
Nice.
he just hooked me up with a nice putter too, man, because he's the golf guy really. And once me and Jason started golfing, we're always golfing with him, and he's got friends out at Twin Lakes and stuff, and
Nice.
a couple of those other spots. So yeah, that's been really the homie to hang out with summer and winter. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Very cool. And then Lakeside Media Group, man.
Yeah.
Is that's your
It is,
personal
yeah.
business?
Yeah, it's something it's something I've been thinking about for a long time, and now that checks are starting to come in for real, as opposed to just doing things for friends, I figured I need a legitimate business entity, and so it's something that I definitely don't want to quit my day job for or anything like that, but something on the side that at least for now I would like to do for maybe a couple clients at a time, just to help, with whatever their goals might be for their business, and then maybe see what happens from there. But definitely love what I do with my day job too, and that's what helps me support like the side business I have right now. But maybe one day that will change into something. But it's been fun. Recently, I did a guide fishing tour with a friend of mine who just started his guide fishing business.
Nice.
And he asked me to film in place for catching some fish and stuff, and that was a great opportunity, because we went out there limited on sockeye. and we were like off the boat by like 8:30, just off to the shore, flaying the fish. And then I had an opportunity to take the drone out a little bit too and get some cool shots and put together a couple reels for them. And then that was good for them starting their business. They got a lot of connections where I think they were able to land a couple sponsorships and then
Nice.
Go from there. But now I have a few guides reaching out to me asking to film for them, and so now I'm in a big hurry to get my FAA license and
Okay.
and
For the drone.
legitimize
Okay,
things.
gotcha.
Yeah, yep. Because I mean, like doing it for a friend, in exchange, as like a hobby is one thing, but so now doing it as a business changes things a little bit too. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of extra pressure, as opposed for doing it for fun, as opposed to doing it for clients. But
Sure.
that's the thing I'm dealing with right now is good, easing into it kind of slowly, and then we'll see if I how big I want to take it.
This is definitely an idea that my wife and I have kind of discussed. She's like, if you're going to do the podcast and guide and do all this stuff, like, would it be good for you to have an LLC? And I'm like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it would. Like, could definitely
Yep.
write off these expenses and all this kinds of stuff. So,
And all the same kids from Vandal Snow that now ride at Schweitzer with me. My buddy Marcus has got his State Farm agency up in Sandpoint, Marcus Mabry. And so he rides snowmobiles with me and stuff too. And he's thinking about, maybe doing like a backcountry guide one day and stuff.
Nice.
And, once we get all our certifications and stuff, doing that, and maybe we can do like the video aspect of it too. So like if you're going to go on a guided tour with us, you can get a, like a video production with it
There
as
you
well.
go.
And yeah, that might turn into something. So
yeah, it's definitely something that I've kind of thought about too, is like, man, it would be cool. Like, I've tried to talk to my outfitter about it, but it's sometimes it can be hard to convince them, like, yeah, let's do social media.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, definitely, dude. And now I can maybe contact you if
Yeah.
I want to have somebody come film me coming out on a tour or something, or just going fishing, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be super awesome. But
Yeah.
are you, so you mentioned you have the drone, got the GoPro. Are you rocking like a nice camera too? Like
I've been shopping around.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been looking at like the Nikons, the A series and stuff, and then some of the Canons. Like I think there's some new ones coming out that look pretty awesome. So I don't know if I want to jump into something like super expensive or kind of get like a middle level practice. Same with the drone too. Is I was looking at that Mini 4 Pro. And it was about $1,200, but I think the Mini 3 at Costco for $350, and I was like, man, I could just learn how to use it with this, and if I mess it up, I'm not out a grand.
God love Costco, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Costco always has the cool deals.
Yeah, right.
Gosh, man, my dream. I don't know if it's like the dream camera, but for stuff that I would like to do, I think I want to get that Panasonic Lumix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, gosh, man, those are. You mentioned we talked about like fishing and snowboarding and everything. Have you ever heard of Curtis Cizik?
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's
Curtis
a
Cizik,
snowmobiler and rider.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite riders too.
Ben local.
They know Louis Fountain and those local riders.
Yeah, definitely. But he's also a fly fishing and a steelhead guide on the jet boats on the Deschutes.
I didn't know that. That's
cool. So he's like, he runs those jet boats up the current, and through the rapids to go steelheading every single summer and fall. Yeah, I'm just like, oh man, I want to get. I've never caught a steelhead. That's like one of the fish that I'd like to catch. Yeah.
Yep, I know. I think we might try and do that in September with the king salmon, but if we get our tags and stuff and everything lines up, then that'd be cool.
For sure, man. Definitely. Well, cool. So I wanted to, get into a little bit of like some hot take layered questions and then some rapid fire, and then we'll close it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet. So are you rocking headphones when you're riding?
Yeah.
Okay. What would be like your go-to song for like a run to send it?
Oh man.
If you could just pick one.
I know one song's kind of tough. I'm a Pretty Lights fan, and that was like an old, it's kind of like a house dubstep, like all that free music. When I was in college, like that really got me to do a lot of tricks that I wouldn't have even tried, back in the day. So that was always kind of like hype music. I will say I'm a big Logic fan, and that's not, it's kind of random, but
My guy. My guy.
So it's cool. It's cool that you're, if you like Logic too, that's
Huge
not a lot of
Logic fan.
not a lot of people like Logic, and my son's a big fan too. So like, I'm usually bumping some Logic in there. And, man, I might have to cut it there because I mean, those two are some big players. I definitely have a big playlist where just because I've built it up over the last maybe actually since college, I have the same exact playlist. It's just adding music. And I have a couple others where it's like, this snow year for the 23 season or something, but I have usually just one big playlist that I might just play. So it's just a lot of random, good snowboarding music from
Snowboard bangers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Might get into some of the classics too, the White Room and stuff. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I have the same list. I'm an old head snowboarder, cranky snowboarder, so the name of that list is Blank Skiers.
Blank Skiers. I love it.
And it's just like, it's just bred in me, man. Like, I did ski for a minute. I even rocked ski blades when I was growing up, but the snowboarding has just always been in me and the culture of it. So, Blank Skiers. Yeah, Logic, dude. Got to see him in Portland like 3 or 4 years ago, which was super cool live. Yeah,
we saw him in Seattle. I took my son 2 years ago now for that College Park tour.
Yeah,
and we told him we were seeing a baseball game that happened to be playing at the same time, and so we were at the bar sitting and stuff. And then he sees the sign that says Logic there, and he's like, "Bro, you see that too?" And then it wasn't until we were walking out of the bar to go, baseball, that we took a left into the stadium to go. And he's like, "Bro, you seeing Logic now?" And we got up like front row. And then he's like right there too, like on the right, and I'm right behind him, probably like rapping everywhere, it's coming out, and Jason's like, his first concert ever, pretty stoked about that. And then,
yeah. For the listeners, if you haven't checked out Logic, please do, because the man is just crazy talented on the hip hop game.
He is,
and he's one that you probably might never heard of. So.
That's true.
But yeah, dude. So how about let's go 3 favorite riders of all time.
Ooh, man. Okay, so Mark Landvik's probably number 1, and then I can't lie. Travis Rice has had a lot of influence on me and my son, and so that just really brought it out. Like, especially when I was in college, and the whole that's all Art of Flight, and then same for him, and then.
Now we get natural selection, and
it's just. He's still going. It's
just insane.
Yeah, right. Chase Josie.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a couple like some of the younger guys too that are just like really popping off, and I just love to see that they're still progressing and going in the backcountry and stuff too. And,
yeah. And there's a whole another generation we haven't even heard of that's coming too. So,
Yep. I know. I could list them off forever, but it's tough to pick out just a few. Yeah.
There's so many sick riders.
It's Curtis, I love him because he's snowmobiling a lot, and I think they put out some YouTube videos, where they're out in the backcountry. And
he's done some cool stuff. I remember my favorite has always been Stale. And then when the Stale Life came out, that just sent it into a whole nother stratosphere for me. It's just like, it's just like the content that him and Gimbal God put out was like, man, it's done a lot for everyone else, honestly. Like that vlog type style.
Yeah, that's cool. Nicholas Mueller, I've always been a Nicholas Mueller fan and stuff.
For sure.
His riding has been, crazy.
Ran 3/4 of that natural selection course, just freaking just in switch.
Oh man, yeah, can't imagine.
It's crazy. So what's a perfect day of riding look like for you?
Ooh man, powder and sunshine, early morning, not very busy, but
And would you be at Schweitzer?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about Schweitzer right now. We're probably hitting those chutes, probably A through C at least, and then headed over to the back bowl and. I'm thinking like Big Timber area is usually like my first hit, like because that looks good on the camera too with the fresh snow.
I've always loved New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
And Australia.
Australia's good, yeah. Seems like a lot of people gun for Australia in the front. So like if I see people take a ride, I'm out there like trying to get to Big Timber or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. What's been like the greatest experience in your snowboarding career?
Ooh, greatest experience? Definitely the kids. I mean, what I've done at like U of I and stuff and all that was pretty minuscule, and I was never really that great of a rider. Like whenever I competed, I was middle to bottom of the pack and stuff, but it was fun to be out there. And I really just reinvigorated my passion for snowboarding when my kids started getting into it. And like when Jason was really loving snowboarding and stuff, and I was following him around, and now he's good enough to, like it wasn't 2 years before he was going everywhere on the mountain, and I was chasing him around and stuff. And that has really just brought back like a surreal thing that I never thought I would have.
Nice, dude. What's the worst trend in snowboarding?
The worst trend in snowboarding.
Yeah.
Trend. I don't know. I don't know if I keep up on the trends too much, but I mean, I'm all like, if it's pushing it forward. I mean, if there's snowboarding's in the conversation, bad or not, it's still in people's mouths. So
there you go.
I don't know. I'm more of a optimist when it comes to people, in snowboarding and stuff, and I'm not really trying to hate on everybody if we're just building together. So
yeah. I would say hate is my least favorite thing.
Yeah, that's it. Is the
best.
Yeah. We're all here just trying to have fun.
Cool, dude. Rapid fire, okay? Pants or bibs?
Ooh, bibs.
Goggles or glasses?
Goggles.
POW or slush?
POW.
And then one person to take on a backcountry heli trip. Who's the person and where would you take them?
Ooh. I mean, if it wasn't Jason, it would probably be Ryan or Marcus. Those two homies, the State Farm homie or Ryan, because I mean, those are probably the two guys I trust the most, and we've always been talking about Alaska, trying to get up there for a heli trip, and so I think we set our sights on maybe the next 5 years, but maybe if we can get it done sooner, that would be ideal. And okay. I saw like Matt Hall, he goes out there and does some, so I might get a referral from him too. And
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, he does some cool stuff too, so I'd like to get out there at least to start out.
Yeah.
Helicopters make me a little scared, but I mean, if that's the worst part, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, man. And then I wanted to ask you, you and I older, but what's like some staples in like your morning routine before going to the mountain? Like what's it kind of look like for you in the mornings?
I'm definitely get up and stretch. Yeah. Since you mentioned that, we're older. But yeah, I'm usually up probably about like 5 and stretching. Maybe put on a snowboard flick too, and then I'll let Jason realize that I'm up, because usually he sleeps with his door open, so he has no problem getting up at 5:30 in the morning for snowboarding. He gets stoked and stuff too, and then we're usually out the door before sunrise, and especially early season, and maybe stop at, they got a Wendy's now on the side too,
there
so that Wendy's breakfast. But man, sometimes we get up there before the Wendy's breakfast even opens. So.
Yeah, especially if it's a nice POW day.
Yep, yeah. But it's always nice to get like some biscuits and gravy or a potato bowl up at the mountain too before you're going. And we might get up there a little too early, but then it's nice to kind of like either set up a camera equipment or relax and eat some breakfast and stuff before people start getting in lines.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Very cool. Well, I just want to say thanks again for joining the podcast, and just let people know where they can find you, and what's coming up soon, and what you're going to be doing this season.
Oh yeah. I appreciate you letting me on the podcast, for a regular dad like me, but, it's been cool to see all the locals, and to hear their stories too, and, kind of understand where everybody's coming from. You can find me at Niko.N.Idaho on Instagram. My son's Jason_N.Idaho. He's got probably a little more golf content than snowboarding lately, but we'll definitely get back into the snowboarding. And then, sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Just anything that you got going on this season. Any big plans? And
Ooh, man. Well, I'll just say that we didn't travel enough last year.
Sure.
And, like, same thing with me camping. Like, I didn't get to camp last year, and so now I've been camping like every weekend this year.
Yeah.
Like, we're planning to not only hit Schweitzer, but definitely use up the Icon Pass wherever we can. So
cool.
I do have plans if Jason, once he graduates, Japan's on the list. So I think that's the mecca of snowboarding for me.
There you go. Heck yeah. Well, you'll love to hear it, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And
thank you.
With that, guys, that's been another episode of Let's Talk Snowboarding, and we are going to catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.
Right on.
All right,
thanks.
man. Thanks so much. Cool. Heck yeah.